right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Assalamualaikum.
Well, we are back with another edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil.
and Sister Tisha. And we are glad to hear that you are joining us. So come on, gather around. You know what to do. We're going to begin as we begin every week before you see us. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, we greet you. Assalamu alaikum once again. We've got big talk for you tonight. Big, important talk about big, important issues to every one of you who move anywhere. If you ever come out of your house to go anywhere, tonight's show is for you. And so before we get into the show, you know what we do. We do a little housekeeping with the world's greatest and most beautiful co-host, the great Sister Tisha. Take it away.
All right. Assalamualaikum, family. Welcome to another exciting episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We are so honored to have you here as our guest tonight. Before we get started with this fascinating episode, we ask that you help us out a little bit. You know we need help growing our platform. And to do that, all we simply ask is that you go over to our YouTube page, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, like, share, and subscribe, and then go to our Facebook page and do the same. You can find my page, Tisha Muhammad, on Facebook, like, share, and subscribe, and then go to Jamil Muhammad, like, share, and subscribe. Are y'all ready to get into it? Get involved? Get into it. Let's see who's here.
You don't have to make the James Brown references. That's something that may be a
little for you.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate that, and certainly I'm grateful for your kind recollection of Mr. Brown. We are going to move into tonight's program with energy and spirit. Hey, there's Kia with us from Texas. She says, hi, family. And as you come in the room, go ahead and put a comment in. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe and share, because those are the things that make the difference for us as we move and develop the program further and further and further. Well, I think we should bring on our guest. It's 3 after, and we've taken care of the business. You know to go ahead and like and subscribe and share.
Right.
So you know that, right? I'm going to introduce our guest. I'm going to turn him over to the greatest co-host in the world for questioning, because this is a brother who's qualified to respond. He's our brother, Roger Muhammad. He's a seasoned professional in the automotive industry, and I call him an automotive expert, and an educator in that field, and we'll learn more about what he does there in that regard. Started his career as an entrepreneur out in Pomona, California. And so all of his auto work at that point was guaranteed sugar-free. Yeah, I threw that in there, Pomona. Yeah, but our brother is a practitioner of the trade at the highest level. Started off as a collision man, meaning he was responsible for the way a vehicle looked, but became over time proficient and is now a professional educator in mechanics, which is the way a car runs. So he had his facilities there. And since 2014, he's been a teacher in the world of education in the Baltimore City Public Schools. And he'll tell us what happens every day with him and his students at Mergenthaler Vocational Technical High School there in the city of Baltimore. So his experience, I think his commitment to nurturing new professionals in the field to make it safe for folks who run their automobiles is really what has it exciting. The other thing I've got to tell you by introduction, he's a good brother.
Come on.
And that always matters. He's a good guy, a family man. He's a man who's a strong, strong helper and aid to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam, has labored in positions across the country. And I have known him and been blessed to be his brother in all these different places. So I'm glad to bring him to us tonight. Why don't you join Tisha and me in welcoming to the program our brother Roger Muhammad. Let's bring him on with that round of applause you got into our house. There he is, the great Roger. He's with us today. Thank you. How are you tonight, dear brother? How's things going?
I am blessed by Allah's permission because I am in good company.
Yes.
Tonight.
Well, I'm here too, not just Tisha now. I'm here too. So,
Absolutely.
Well, hey, Trisha. Say hi to Trish real quick.
Hi, Trish. How you doing, sis?
Well, we are so honored to have you here with us. We are excited about this show because this is a topic that a lot of people are concerned with right now, as we should be. And so let's just get right into it if everybody
Let's get
is
into
okay
it.
with that, because there is a lot of information to cover. And so we thought about approaching this subject in lieu of what's going on in our economy today, right? Um,
Mhm.
all the interest rates going up, everybody's pay salaries going down, inflation, tariffs, things like that. And so we're
Mhm.
trying to find a way to stretch our dollars, so to say.
Okay.
What we find is in a lot of our households is our car maintenance takes up a big portion of that, especially if we don't maintain it.
Mhm.
So we want to know right off, if you could just jump right into helping us with that. Are there any particular just say maintenance routines or things that would be wise for people to do?
Absolutely. And first of all, I want to thank you all for the invitation to be on such a beautiful program. Sister Tisha, Brother Minister, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I feel honored being here.
Oh, we're
Thank
honored
you.
to have you. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. So
Right.
I want to be known as the official team member to the Truth Program.
Come on.
There it is.
I want to be the team
I
member.
second the motion. How does the motion carry? All right.
That's
All right.
good.
All right.
So again, thank you all for inviting me to the program. Beautiful introduction. Thank you very much, Brother Jamil, Brother Minister. And there is, to answer the question and to get to the meat of it, yes, there is, I would like to refer as non-car enthusiasts to perform certain things that you do not have to go to a mechanic to do. You don't have to have that kind of conversation. Number one thing that you always want to do is to make sure that your tires are properly inflated.
Oh, okay.
Number one, you want to make sure of that. Number one. Why that's important is because the rotation of the tires takes the most hinderest beating of any part on the car. That right there, because it's sustainable to the potholes, it's sustainable to anything falling off another vehicle. It is the first point of contact to anything, is the tires. So making sure that they're properly inflated actually keeps them in a round position where they can roll freely. Anything that's underinflated, now you're dealing with a wobble. So then you'll end up getting your steering wheel a little bit shaky, and you run the risk of overheating the tire and then having a blowout.
Oh, wow.
So that is one of the most important things that you would want to do.
All right. So number one is tire inflation, always keeping
Yes,
pressure where it is recommended by the manufacturer, right?
that
If
is
they
correct.
33, you don't go 37 and you don't go 28.
You don't do that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
normally like a 15, 16, 17-inch tire has a maximum inflation rate of 44 pounds. Because that is a moving thing, it generates friction, and friction generates heat. So you're putting heat and stress on that tire. So you do not ever want to put it at the maximum, because the heat is going to produce air in the tire.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And so it's good now, Brother Roger, for a husband to give his wife a tire pressure gauge as a gift.
That is correct.
No, it's not.
It
It's
means that he
mandatory.
loves her.
It should be in the cup holder.
It should be
Actually,
in the cup holder of the
In the cup
cars
holder.
where it should, okay.
where
I
it
mean,
should
what is she going to do with it? Roll it to the tire shop and have them check it? Because that's
Uh,
what she's going to do. He bought me one of those. I was like,
as he should, because you never know when it's going to be needed. It's better to have it and not need it
Come on.
than to need it and not have it.
Wisdom from Brother Roger Muhammad,
There it
Automotive
is.
Expert and Educator on Nothing But the Truth. Yeah. Now, so number one is the tires.
The tires.
What would you say are the other important things that we can maintain ourselves?
basically.
Making sure that you don't have any trash in your vehicle.
Trash.
Trash.
Mm.
I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten a vehicle that has been in an accident because they want to throw the Gatorade bottle under the seat. And when you put on your brakes, it rolls up under the brake and you no longer have them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because
Okay.
it'll roll around. Okay, I didn't get where you were going with that, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I
Keeping
cannot
it
tell you how
clean.
many times it happens. Actually, a friend of mine, it happened about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
He was drinking a tantalizing cold ginger ale.
Mm.
That he
Not
put on,
tantalizing.
tantalizing. It was tantalizing. The water was beating down the side of the
Yes,
bottle.
yes, yes.
And he went to put on brakes, and the bottle actually went up under the brake pedal, and he lost his braking capabilities
Wreck the car. Oh, God.
and wrecked the car. So please do not put anything under your seat that rolls.
Okay.
No
Okay?
trash in the vehicle. So keep your tires inflated. No trash in the vehicle.
No trash in the vehicle.
And by the way, Sister Terry, good to see you from Baltimore. Sister Terry is with us tonight. Tell us what's the third thing that we should do ourselves to keep our vehicles safe and running right?
We want to make sure that we're always maintaining proper oil and clean oil.
Okay.
What that does is it allows the engine to run efficiently. If the car is low on oil or the oil is no longer doing what it's supposed to be doing, it will put extreme stress on the car. And it actually is what I would call, it gives the car high blood pressure
Oh, wow.
because the motor is running harder than it should because it's not getting the proper lubrication.
Wow.
So that ends up burning more gas.
Because the oil is bad. You're burning more gas.
That is
So has the can you tell us the difference on when should we get our oil changed? Because back in the day it used to be like 3,000, and now it seems like with some of the cars you can go longer. Do you recommend that?
That's a great question. And here's why that's a great question. Because yes, the rule of thumb was 3,000 miles. That was the intervals that you got your oil change, you got your air filter changed inside of the car, and that's when you rotated your tires. So every 3,000 miles, you had 3 increments that you had to take care of.
Right.
We live in a world now where we live in a synthetic world, and everything has to be extra, extra, extra slippery. So what we like to call in the business conventional oil is a thing of the past.
Okay.
Everything now is either a synthetic blend
Yes.
or it is a full synthetic. Why that is, the slicker that it bonds to the motor, it allows the motor to work less.
Okay.
Okay. Conventional oil tend to break down quicker than synthetic because it's thinner and it's able to go through the filtration system just a little bit easier than conventional oil. So now that we're in 5,000 mile increments, 8,000 mile increments, and in some cases 10,000 mile increments, it has thrown off the process of getting the air filter done at 3,000 and also rotating the tires at 3,000. So for me, what I personally do for my cars is that we're in an oil change every 3,000 miles,
Regardless.
Every 3,000.
Every 3,000, because my car, the actual oil life is 5,000 miles. I never do that. I always change at 3,000. Because again, as you said, Sister Tish, we are in preventive maintenance.
Right.
If you're going to follow the oil recommendations, because it doesn't calculate how you drive, how I drive, how Brother Minister drive. If I'm driving in high dust areas, am I driving in extreme heat or extreme cold? It doesn't take into factors. They test their cars in a neutral facility that has pretty much the same temperature all year round. So it
Like a
doesn't take
controlled environment, right?
That's correct.
Mhm.
That's correct. So they don't take into account how we drive and the conditions we drive in. So that 5,000 mile increment may have been what it was and when they were testing, but it doesn't deal with stop and go traffic. It doesn't go with a flow of 70 miles an hour for 3 hours or 4 hours. You know, it doesn't take that into consideration. So 3,000 miles is the rule of thumb, and it is the best rule of thumb for any mileage that they say.
Oh, wow. Even the bigger ones, the 8,000.
Even the 8 and the 10,000. Because again, even though the oil has become slicker and thinner, the oil filtration process really hasn't changed.
Okay, so
So
I have to catch up with the oil developments, right? I guess
mhm.
they do it. Okay. Okay.
Hmm. And when we go for the oil change, so you spoke on the traditional oil, half synthetic was it, and then full synthetic.
That's correct.
So don't get the regular traditional one because that's the
No, this is where you would actually want to go with manufacturer specifications. So if
Okay.
your car runs synthetic oil and it's running 5W20, you want to run that specific oil. That oil was specifically designed from the engineers to run in that car efficiently.
Okay.
If you put in something, let's say, because oil is graded by weight. So
Okay.
you have 5W20, you have 10W30, you have 20W50. So the higher the number, thicker the oil.
The
So
higher
if
the
you
number, the thicker the oil.
so
Okay.
if you put a 2050 in a 5W20 system, the oil is not going to get to places it need to go for lubricate, and you will blow your motor.
Oh no.
Because the oil is too thick and it
It
doesn't
is
have
too
the
thick.
kind of smoothness. Okay.
That is correct. That would be like trying to pull Vaseline through a straw.
Okay, we don't want that.
No,
No.
Yeah,
no,
we don't want that.
that's not even bad
So
video too. But we want to thank you all for joining us. I'm noticing people coming in the room. Certainly, we see folks coming from around the country. Brother James is with us tonight from Public Enemy, the S1Ws. He's back in the country. Good to see you, Brother James. Walaikum salam. And certainly, Sister Tawana says, good job, husband.
Good job.
Because he is always following you, Brother Roger. It's good to see you all there working it out together. Tisha, I like the questions, Tisha, that you're asking about the vehicles and the maintenance of these vehicles from a self-maintenance kind of a perspective. Was there anything else on your mind about that? Because I really am enjoying the way this is developing.
I do. I have a question. You kind of touched on the rotating of the tires, and replacing tires can be rather expensive. So we want to learn how to prolong our tires as best we can, get the best life out of them. And I'm asking these questions too because, ain't it the truth? I'm forever asking, do I need tires now? Do I need tires? And he keeps saying no, and I'm like, I think I do. But anyway, wait.
Okay.
How can I prolong my tires more? You said the rotating, the 3,000 miles. Is that the only thing that we need to do? The inflation, rotating, don't hit the curb. What else? Is there anything? Is it important to rotate, to keep it balanced, to align? What are we doing?
that's a good question. And is this program nothing but the truth?
That's correct.
Nothing but. Nothing.
Okay, so I'm going to destroy a fallacy, and I hope that everybody is prepared for this.
And let me put you on solo because they need to tune into this.
Okay, let's get ready.
Let's deal with that. So the whole idea for rotating tires was a manufacturer's agenda to make sure that you buy 4 tires instead of the tires that you need.
Come on.
Rotating tires necessarily do not do anything. If they can get you to buy 4 tires at a time, that's better for them than to buy, let's say, 2 tires for the front or 2 tires for the rear.
Yes. Suckers.
Okay.
So that is an agenda. And it is a loophole that we were led to believe in. And that's not necessarily the truth.
Okay.
Right? Now, here's where the fallacy, this is why the fallacy was put in place.
Wow.
Back in the day, we had cars that were rear-wheel drive. Right? So the concept was if we take the tires in the rear because they're pushing the car, so we're getting more tread losing in the rear, let's put them to the front and then we'll let the front catch up to the back.
Catch up. Yes.
Okay. Versus, well, why wouldn't we just buy 2 new tires for the rear? Why do we have to let them catch up? So that was an agenda.
Thank you, BF. Thank you, BF Goodrich, Goodyear, Firestone. Thank you, all of the tire manufacturers.
It's a fallacy. So it's better to sell 4 tires than it is to just do 2. And you're going to get double the life out of the ones in the front versus the ones that are in the back. So you would change the back twice to one time in the front. Now we're getting into cars that are front wheel drive cars.
Yes.
Okay, so the same concept. We don't need to rotate tires. We don't need to do any of that. The only way you need to rotate 4 tires is when if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle that is all the time, because those wheels are all spinning at the same momentum, so their tread wear is going to be the same.
That's a full-time AWD, right?
That is correct.
Okay, got you. Wow. So let's recap.
I hope the listeners were ready for this.
Oh yeah,
They just got me.
It's nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
The idea of the program in general, even when we have our family members like Brother Roger on the show, is more relaxed like this. But every time we get together, the idea is to bring you something that you can use, to bring you something that you can benefit from. And tonight we're already experiencing that, and we're not even halfway into the program. So I'm very grateful for that. I did want to ask as we recap. Number 1, tires properly inflated. Number 2, no trash in your vehicle. I'm sorry, I know G-Rail looks good, but no trash in your vehicle. 3rd, proper oil and clean oil, and follow the manufacturer's recommendations for the oil that you use in the vehicle.
That is correct.
Fascinating stuff. You're viewing and you're watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Our guest tonight, Brother Roger, renowned automotive expert and educator in that field. Tisha, I had a question, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. So you talked on the last talk about the filters and the oil and the systems not being there. What are some things that need to be checked regularly in terms of the filters that make your vehicle run? How does that work?
That's a relevant question, very relevant question. Okay. So, number 1, we want to deal with the fuel of the car. So you want to make sure that you are putting on your routine maintenance list, changing your fuel filters.
Fuel filter, okay.
Yes, you have fuel filters on your car that nobody ever thinks about changing. And if you think about the most refillable item that is on the car, is gas.
Yes.
Is gas. So you can imagine just to give you a case in point, and I'm going to scare the listeners with this. You should be changing that every 5,000 to 7,000 miles.
I don't think I've ever changed mine.
Oh my. And so products like STP, they don't even do they still make that stuff anymore?
It does it for the gas. It doesn't do it for the filter. The filter is the filter. It's going to continue to do its job. Now, here's what the kicker is. You putting this additive in your gas.
Yes.
To do whatever you are expecting it to do. But what's going to collect the trash once the additive does its job?
That dirty filter that's clogged up.
And now you want to wonder why the car's sputtering and you're getting inefficient fuel mileage. Where you used to get 15 miles per gallon, now you're getting 9 and 10.
Yes.
Oh my. And Utanga, you're correct. I mean, oh wow is the response that I have here, because I'm looking at and we have to should we make appointments to get these fuel filters changed this week, brother? Because we've never changed.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I've never even thought to do that. I'm one of the people that will drive a car. I mean, I don't know how to work on the darn thing, but I got that gangster lean down pat 18 miles an hour, leaning on the armrest, chilling, looking up.
Yeah.
Playing that old school black man music real loud.
Johnny Taylor records. That's right. That's what you do. But there's more to ownership and enjoyment of a vehicle than that. Tisha, you had a question. Go ahead.
There was one question before we leave this section real quick. It was from Brother Jerry. And he said, Brother Roger, is there a particular synthetic oil you recommend regardless of the vehicle make? Like, do you recommend synthetic oil for older model vehicles? Is there a particular?
Let me answer it like this, because I'm in the age where if you were in the 80s and the 90s, you wasn't old. Okay. So in my language, we would call those anything from 60 to present, or 60 to 80 is old school. I would run 2050 conventional oil, and I would not run synthetic in a car that old, because you have to realize that car was made 30 and 40 years ago. That car has real metal.
Okay.
It's not an aluminum block that needs a thinner oil to keep it cool.
Cast
It can really operate at its best with the thicker conventional oil. Okay, so I would run conventional. I would not run synthetic, although synthetic is good.
Mhm.
But in this case, conventional would be supreme.
And since you're asking about those vehicles from the old school era, and I'm thankful we're headed to the break at the bottom of the hour, but you and I have always talked about this. Tisha, allow me this departure for just 30 seconds. You've always talked about old school reconditionings or rebuilding old vehicles, making them look good, run
Restorations.
restorations. What would you recommend as maybe the top 2 or 3 vehicles for a restoration candidate, or does it even matter? Like, would you go with a GTO or a Mustang, or would you take that that Plymouth Satellite and drop that Mopar? And what would you do in terms of how you do all that?
Now you're talking my language.
Okay.
Now you're talking my language.
It's boy talk.
The number one car
Mhm.
that is probably, it's at the top of my list, and that would be the 19 Chevy Chevelle SS 454 convertible.
The 1970 Chevelle
SS
the Super Sport, right? The drop top.
454.
Gotta have a 454. Big
Gotta
body.
have a 454, the big block, and
Okay.
it's a convertible.
And it's a convertible.
That car right there is the showstopper. That's the showstopper right there.
And as a collision man, you put 14 coats on there, right? And lay it out real nice with a bake. Ooh, man, that sounds. Ooh, man, that's good. Maybe I do that in a deep British green.
Your 30 seconds is up.
Oh, all right.
See, now we talking. Now we talking. The second car that I would go with would be Dodge Challenger GTO. I would go in that route. Only because of the value of those cars. And for those of us who do not know what that is the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that is the 1969, 70, 71 Dodge Charger, which I am a big fan because I own a Dodge Challenger today.
Right.
And
that's you roll a Viper. Don't you run the Viper and the Hellcat?
I run the Hellcat. I run the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, which is a 2-door, very, 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 very fast vehicle.
Wow.
Right.
And then he offered me to drive it one day. I'm in Baltimore, minding my business. He said, "Brother, you want to drive this?" I said, "No, sir, I do not."
I'm not worthy.
Yeah, that's a vehicle for the ages.
Wow. You're listening to and viewing Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Do we have time for one more question before the break, Tisha?
We have 2 minutes. We got to be a quick question for the break, and then we'll come back and finish it up. You have the question ready?
Yeah, I do have the question. It's from the chat. It's from Sister Utanga. She asks, what about oil leaks? How do we find where an oil is leaking, what oil is leaking, and what to do about it? Is that right?
Yes. What kind of car are we talking about here?
Put it in the chat, Sister Utanga, what kind of vehicle you're talking about, because that makes a difference as well.
It does. It really does.
Make and model. And as we prepare to answer this question, we're going to get to it. We want you to know that there are honest mechanics in the world. Yes. And you're looking at the face of one of them right there. That's Brother Roger, our brother, Brother Roger Muhammad, an automotive expert and educator. Now, it's an Audi.
It's an Audi. Okay. Yeah, let's get ready.
5,000?
Yes.
Okay.
So why that's important that I asked for the vehicles, because you have V8s and you have V6s, you have straight line 4s, you have inline 4s. So depending on what kind of car you got will tell me what kind of motor is in the car. So I will say it like this. If you see oil on the ground and it's leaking and it's under the engine, it's a good chance it's leaking from the valve cover, which sits on top of the vehicle, that's trickling down past the exhaust pipes and hitting the ground. If the oil is dripping and it seems like it's coming from under the cavity of the car, from the front seat and the passenger front seat, most likely that is from the oil pan. So that gasket needs to be changed. And sometimes, and a lot of times, you start to see small leaks, especially if you live here in Baltimore City, where we have the worst potholes of any streets in America. It is not uncommon to bust your oil pan or scratch or dent or crack it, especially with good potholes.
We just got a call in from Trenton, New Jersey. They said their potholes are worse, and
Oh,
there's no competition. So I'm not gonna get into that.
yeah, I don't.
Trenton, Baltimore, do your thing. But Sister Utunga says she's got it, and I turn it over now to Sister Tisha. What's happening in the program now, and what do we do next?
Well, family, we've made it to the bottom of the hour now. So we are going to take a small commercial break, really small, but use this time to go get you a sip of water and get right on back. You don't want to miss part 2 on how to maintain your vehicle. Here we go. Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamualaikum.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Woo! Assalamualaikum, family. Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamualaikum.
We want to thank you for taking the time to tune into Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. We thank you for every Thursday night joining us for appointment viewing. 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to come in on the p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Thursday nights by YouTube, by Facebook, by Instagram, by all the other means by which we can be seen. But we thank you, because without you, as a matter of fact, here the Manhattans, there's no me without you.
We always do that. Assalamualaikum.
There's no me.
You didn't say assalamualaikum. You didn't say assalamualaikum.
Oh, assalamualaikum.
All right.
We are back. We've been joined also with another family members coming in from Buffalo, New York. See you there, Shante. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, and howdy to you as well. Our guest tonight is our dear brother, Brother Roger Muhammad, automotive expert and educator at Baltimore's Mergenthaler Vocational and Technical High School there. Let's bring Brother Roger back in the room. And is he available to come on back in? There he is. There he is. All
Yes,
right.
family.
A long sip of water. That's all right. But listen, Brother Roger, tell us about your educational activity now. You're unusual in the sense that you became a very successful entrepreneur, literally with a coast-to-coast Crescent City custom collision and body and custom shop that was based in Pomona, California. But you ended up back on the East Coast educating in schools. So you've been successful as an entrepreneur and as an educator. Tell us a little bit about the educational thing and what it's like and how it feels and what's going on there with that.
So that's a great question, and I feel honored that you asked that, because a lot of times in this field, nobody wants to know where you came from. They just want to know what you can do.
Come on.
So I was an owner operator in Cincinnati, Ohio. I did have my own shop, and of course, you, Brother Minister, you stopped through plenty of times to come and see and visit. And then we ended up moving back here to Baltimore, Maryland. So I had a friend of mine that knew I had a shop that was in Cincinnati who worked at the district level here in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And the instructor before me had passed away. And then he approached me and asked me if I would be interested in teaching the trade, the collision. And I said, not really, man. I don't even really want to deal with my own. So at that time, I'm like, man, you couldn't get me you couldn't, put me in the classroom. But at the educational level, it took my years of experience before coming there and applied it to the school. So a lot of the curriculum that we have today is because I implemented it from an owner standpoint and making sure that our kids, our students have industry standard certifications to jump right into the field. Because one of the things that I valued at my shop is we were partners with Cincinnati Community College, and they also had a collision and auto program that we would allow interns to come into the shop and gain the necessary hours so that they can update their resume with the experience of working in a real shop versus working in a classroom.
Wow.
So we ended up doing that, and that was one of the great successes that we had. So I knew what the difference is with me versus a math teacher, a science teacher of that nature, is they went to school to be that. I already had my trade under my belt. I had to learn to be a teacher.
Wow.
A key distinction.
That is
But
correct.
having visited your location, I can tell you, everyone, and Tisha, you know, I've actually FaceTimed you from Mervo when our vehicles were there being worked on, and when we see Brother Roger moving in that space with the students, the respect that they give to him, it's almost like you become, Brother Roger, a father figure, a surrogate father figure, an authority figure for these young people. And I've watched how many of them relate to you. They come to your shop area, which is not just a classroom, it's a body shop, a mechanic shop, the other supplies and auto parts area. It's a whole section of the school there. But when they come there, they're coming there to see you, even after school, Brother Roger. They come in to see my brother after school because he's able to multitask. He can direct people what to do off the camera, off the mic, and then come back on the mic and answer the question. He's a bad man.
That is a bad man. That's a bad man. That's a bad man.
Those brothers and sisters at the school at Mervo, they see him and they direct their attention to him. And I'm very, very glad about that. Tisha, you have more questions. There are so many great things we could ask about.
We're going to jump back into it. We talked about maintaining like basic things that probably most normal people like us, well, regular people like me who really don't know about the car, would be able to look at on our own. But let's get into some of the other things that we need to be able to maintain that we know actually what we're looking at, like things with the electrical system, or because nowadays most of the cars seem to be so much more electrical than the older school ones. Mm-hmm. Are there certain things with our electrical systems we need to be maintaining or looking after, things like that, be aware of?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There is where you do not want to put water wherever you see electricity. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's why those components are always out of sight so they can be not seen and not dealt with. Now, coming from a detailing background, we used to do motors all the time. So those of us who like to use the WD-40 from the old school, mm-hmm. you would always WD-40 your wires because that would waterproof them.
What?
That would waterproof.
Oil would keep out the water because they don't have any moisture.
Correct. Yes. Oil and water will always separate.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying do that or don't do that?
No, I'm saying if you wanted to be one of those, OCDs that got to have the, engine that's just looking like sparkling all the time.
Okay.
All of your electrical components, you would want to spray it with WD-40.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be the maintenance of that. Now, the other part of that is making sure that you're always checking fuses. You don't always have to wait till something goes out to start trying to figure out what happened electrically. You would always want to check your fuses, especially if you open up your fuse box and there's dirt in there. That lets you know that there is a leak in the seal and it's not sealed properly. So therefore you have the potential of having a corrosion problem, and therefore you will have an absolute big problem.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. So that was a big question. Now, you may not have a follow-up for that one because we didn't expect to get that answer. And again, thank you, brother, for the thoroughness of the answers. But again, it's reminding us of the things that we need to do with our own vehicles to make sure that these things can happen in a timely fashion. Tisha, I know that put something in your mind. What was it, dear?
It is there, and it leads into somebody else asked the question too. I was going to ask. Wait, Sean is tripping on my OCD. Yep, OCD as yeah. You see me, Sean, asking. So do I need to do that? Because yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay. So what about with maintenance? Depending on where is there certain kind of maintenance we need to have for certain different times of the year? And I'm asking that because I'm going to show you the question. Can you explain why the tire pressure on the Camry always fluctuate during the colder months? Is that a sign of bad tires, or is that just because of the weather? What's going on with that?
That is not necessarily a sign of bad tires. Now, what happens when we was talking early in the program of how the tires move across the road, that causes friction. Friction causes heat. So, and a lot of times when we're going into the fall months like we are and going into the colder months, your tires tend to heat up.
Okay.
And what that does is create moisture in the tire. So as you let your car sit overnight, that moisture freezes. Okay. And it takes the air down with you. I mean, it takes the air out of the tire because it's freezing the moisture in the air, and therefore it makes it seem like your tires are underinflated.
Oh.
So when you go and now put air back in the tire to the recommended specs, you got to remember you got frozen water in there. So as that water starts to unthaw, because now your tires are moving and heating up, it's going to defrost. Now you're going to have another problem.
Because now you have too much air.
You have too much air, and now you got water in there, and now it's going to start a corrosion process around the seal or the rim, and therefore it's going to start leaking.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot to learn, and we all want to learn it. Hey, listen, in the audience, don't be dispirited, because your vehicle, you depend on it to get you where you have to go. You should be safe. You should be comfortable, and wherever possible, you should be economical about that. So that seems to me that the best investment you can make is in the safety of your vehicle. I mean, you got your children in there, you got your wife, and good husbands will buy the wife a tire pressure gauge. And these are the good men. Next question: should I not add air? I think, Sister Quanta, you saw it when Brother he answered it earlier. If it's cold weather and the tire looks to be underinflated, it may be because there is water inside the tire. If you add extra air to it and bring it up to the manufacturer's specifications, 33 pounds per square inches, for example, but there's water in there, the tire starts rolling again, the water thaws, you got too much air now. So be very careful to make sure that you observe the vehicle over time in different conditions. All right?
Brother Minister, I like that point that you made where you talk about, the maintenance of the car because of the importance of it and who we transport in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the slogans that I had at the shop is where quality matters. And this is one of the things that I teach my students, and this is non-negotiable. The vehicles that we work on transport people for their livelihood. It treats people, it takes people where they got to go in case of an emergency. You have your children in there, you have your grandmother in there, you have your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, and your nephews. You're going to provide sustainability for yourself. You're going to work. You're taking people to their after school programs. You're taking all kinds. That car is the main mode of transportation for anybody that has it. Not only does it offers a level of convenience, it offers a level of stability and comfort. So anything that is used in the manner that it's used in, you have to maintain it. Comfort, cost, convenience, cost.
Yes.
Right? This is why we purchased it. So it's just not a stick a key in it, turn it, drive it, bring it back. That's not sustainable. And so what I teach my students is these people's lives are in your hands when you're working on this person's vehicle. So we don't shortchange nothing.
Wow.
If something has to be revisited, we stop, drop, and roll, revisit the conversation, and we fix it correctly. Therefore, we create a safety net for ourselves. And nobody wants to go to sleep knowing that they done something that they could have avoided
Wow.
by taking an extra step.
Wow. Just one extra step. Quanta asks another question. She says here, can you explain when I should change my cabin filter? Recently just found out that there's one in the car, and when the guy pulled it out, it was filthy. The cabin air filter.
That is a very good question, Quanta, and that is one of the most overlooked pieces of vital filters that is on that car, because your car, you wonder why you have allergies and you're sneezing, is because your car, all the new cars have an air purifying system. So it is separate from the motor. The motor has its air cleaner, and the car has its cabin filter. So a lot of the pathogens that may be in the car, especially for people that have children that are sensitive, and people that may have sensitivities, if that filter is clogged up with whatever the case may be, you run the risk of potentially harming yourself. If it gets wet, you got a mold issue. And if you're not cleaning it, I mean, you're just literally, it's like breathing in a sandstorm without a respirator. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So you should change that. Just to answer her, you should change that anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 miles.
These type of things that you're recommending that we change when we go for our oil changes, are they going to tell us that it's time for you to do this or do that? Should we trust that, or just know for ourselves? How they give you that little printout?
Yeah, because everybody should read that little book that comes with the car that says the manual, that nobody looks at, that it is always in perfect condition, sitting in the glove box in that plastic little Ziploc bag that nobody ever opens.
We save it.
Yeah. So you want to open that up, and you want to go to the maintenance part in there, and that way you can jot down all your maintenance intervals, and it has your maintenance intervals in that car, in that book, that tells you what needs to be changed at what mileage, and you can document it and have whoever is the certified technician that you have to put his stamp on it, and that way that part of the service has been taken care of.
Okay.
Wow. Now, you mentioned certified technicians. Mentioned, and the work ethic that you put into your students at Mervo. But the question is, and I guess this question burns in the minds of people: how in the world do you find an honest mechanic in an industry that looks to be quite dangerous to consumers? I mean, how would you describe the industry, and then how do we make our way in this industry to make sure we don't get robbed at the garage?
I have to say, in the industry that we're in, a good reputation is worth more than gold.
True.
It is worth more than gold, because very, very, very rarely do we ever pick a automotive technician, a collision technician, out of the yellow pages or online. We always go to somebody we trust that has a mechanic, that has somebody that deals with cars, and we ask them, and then we always operate by referrals.
That's true.
So, and I couldn't tell you who would ever pick a doctor out of the yellow pages or online. We normally get a referral from somebody who has a good doctor, somebody that has a good physician, that we ask, can we get that contact information? The same thing goes for us, because in this industry, you can have all the certifications in the world. It doesn't mean that you're good.
True.
You have doctors that went to community colleges. You have doctors that didn't necessarily get good grades in school, but yet they carry a PhD. So the same thing is in our field. You can have a whole wall of plaques. If the character is not good, you ain't good.
You ain't good.
Before
we go, because we're gonna have to start wrapping it up pretty soon. We talked about a lot of the basic things that we can do to help maintain it. But can you touch on some of the most overlooked things that cause catastrophic losses for us? That, like, is it the transmission, engine work, stuff like that? Is there some sort of maintenance with that we're supposed to be looking at?
Absolutely. The fluids in the car is almost like the blood in the body.
Okay.
So you cannot continuously run that oil or that fluid and not change it, because again, it loses its viscosity, which means that it loses its ability to bond to the metal to create the lubrication process to make everything efficient. So, and then, you know, we got friction going on, so we got heat going on, and so we got microscopic particles that are being deposited in that fluid, and sometimes they're so small that the filter can't grab it. So these intervals of changing the fluids are absolutely paramount. So given an example, transmission fluids are every 50,000 miles. Oils are 3, 8, 10,000 miles. Radiator fluid, you want to do it anywhere between every 4,000 to 6,000 miles. Then you got your power steering fluid. And the number one fluid that nobody ever changes is the differential fluid.
The what?
The differential fluid. So this is the fluid that's in the axle, especially in rear wheel drive cars, that's supposed to be changed out, and nobody ever changes it.
The differential fluid.
That is correct.
I need my differentials.
We got yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, you learn a lot on Nothing But the Truth. I'm not bragging about this program, but tonight you see we have brought you one of America's premier automotive experts, who is an educator and a man of ethics and principle. Because clearly, if ethics and principle and reputation are not a part of what we do, then we can't even do what we do. And yes, Quanta, that's differential. everybody's differential fluids.
You see what I'm saying? That proves the point right there.
Yeah.
That proves the point.
I have one last question before we round it out, before we give you the final say. Is there a particular, I don't know, it's not model, but make of car that you recommend if we're wanting to like pay off your car and maybe keep it going more than 200,000 miles because you don't want to get another car note? Is there a particular model, maker that you would recommend?
Absolutely. And my brother would be absolutely in agreement with me. Honda.
I know what he's going to say. Yeah.
Toyota.
Honda or Toyota. Okay.
Honda or Toyota. Those cars are built to last. The car is man, they built the mother plane. What else could I say?
Honda or Toyota if you're hoping to go over 200,000 miles.
That is correct, because those cars are made to last, meaning that they're engineered right. So the only thing the owner has to pay attention to is the fluids.
The fluids, even the differential fluid.
That is correct. So
right.
My brother at the school with me, Mr. Owens, he would agree with me more. So he is a Toyota certified technician, got all the plaques. He is one of the good guys, and I'm hoping that I can recommend him to you all so that you all can have him on the show. And
oh yes, we'd love it.
Yeah, he would be good for that. He would be real good for that. So my favorite, and I may be biased, Toyota, Honda.
Okay. Good to know.
And by way of transparency, I was at the shop with Brother Roger getting our vehicles worked on, Tisha. And he says to me, he says, "Brother, come over here." I said, "Yes, sir, Brother Roger." He says, "Do me a favor." I said, "Wow, he's looking real serious." He said, "If you're buying cars, keep buying Hondas. Don't come in with some other brand of vehicle and expect me to keep it up as long as these cars are going to last." When last time I rolled out of his shop, Tisha, he told me, he said, "Your vehicle is armed like a tank. It's good."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But this vehicle is completely worked out and laid out, and you can roll. I drove that day from Northeast Baltimore, where I met him, and yes, he's on right now. Tune in. But I drove from Northeast Baltimore to Northwest Arkansas that day because the vehicle was ready. And I thank you for taking care of our family needs and our safety the way that you do. And I think it's important that we said that on the air, just how much we appreciate you. Any last words for us tonight as a community in need of automotive education and information? And then we've got to have you back on the program.
I was just about to suggest that. Please. It looks like we're going to need a part 2. That time went by quick.
It went quick. We had more questions.
Went by too quick. What's our parting word for tonight, Brother Roger? And then we'll be preparing to wrap up.
If you always ready, you never got to get ready.
Come on.
That's some Pomona wisdom, isn't it? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Okay, I'm just saying a lot of
That's a little gangsterish. Okay.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to.
Yeah, that's why that saying is so good. It can be used as necessary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, our guest tonight has been Brother Roger Muhammad. He's not, and look at his face because you'll be seeing it again soon. He'll be back here on Nothing But the Truth, inshallah, God willing, at the next earliest opportunity to give us more information about how to keep these vehicles running. Because now, next time we comes back, we're going to talk about safety, security, and your vehicle as a means of tactical supply in a time of falling society.
Yes.
How can the vehicle aid you when things begin to fall apart?
This is great.
I'm making my notes right now. Yes, sir.
Yes, this is great.
And look at the comment on the screen now, Brother Roger. You see that?
So cute.
It's from my beautiful wife.
Great. So that's right. And we appreciate you, Sister Tawana, for being who you are and for backing my brother to be who he is and building your beautiful family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Brother Roger. Stay right where you are, my dear brother. I'm going to turn it over now to the world's greatest co-host. She's going to give us some parting comments, and we're going to be gone.
We're going to be gone. All right, family. Thank you once again for joining us for another exciting episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We are so thankful that you took the time to join us. We're going to ask you to come back next week, same time, same place, and do it again. And sometime during the week, go back and share this broadcast to your page. Invite a friend to go over to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe, and help us grow this platform. And then you can also go to our Facebook page. Why am I doing all this? Ghetto. Anyway, you can go to our Facebook page. It's Tisha Fry. What's my name? Tisha Muhammad. And then you can go over to Jamil's page, Jamil Muhammad. Like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow this platform. All right, family.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you, everybody. So on behalf of Brother Roger, on behalf of Sister Tisha, and of course me, I'm Brother Jamil, we say thank you for tuning in this week. Inshallah, we'll see you next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 5 on the West Coast for another edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. Assalamu alaikum.
Family.
Inshallah.